Hello students. In today's topic, we are going to discuss about the most widely consumed ancient beverage, which is the tea. Camellia sinensis is the botanical name of the tea plant. Processing of tea involves various steps like plucking, withering, crushing, drying, rolling, and shaping of the tea leaves, through which the leaves are made ready for brewing. Tea consumption was originated in ancient China and reached the European continent in the 16th century. In India, tea was cultivated in Assam in the 19th century. Chinese variety, the sinensis, and the Assamese variety, Assamica, are the two basic varieties of tea from ancient time. The practice of steaming fresh tea leaves and drying them for further storage and consuming it by decocting with other herbs was practiced in China. Talking about the tea plant grows to a height of 35 feet in tropical and subtropical climates. The plantations are cultivated at altitudes of 2,460 meters and above. For the ease of plucking and pruning, the bushes are maintained at 2 to 2.5 feet height so that the bush spreads and grows widely. Discussing about the processing of tea, there are different types of tea varying in color, smell, taste, and appearance due to the minor changes in the processing steps. Widely, there are many different types of products obtained from tea. They can be broadly classified into conventional teas and non-conventional tea products. The conventional teas comprise of completely fermented black tea, unfermented green tea, and partially fermented oolong tea comprising of the red and the yellow tea. Talking about the non-conventional tea products that include cold and hot soluble instant tea, flavored tea, and decaffeinated tea. Canned or bottled teas, soluble tea mixes, tea beverages, frozen tea liquid, and tea tablets, they are termed as convenience products. Liquid tea concentrates, tea mixes, iced tea mixes, and fruit tea mixes are the recent products that have shown tremendous increase in the global market. Harvesting or plucking is a significant operation in determining the final quality of tea. Usually, tender and uniform terminal bud and 2 shooting leaves or only shoots with 3 leaves are picked from the tea plant twice a year. Manual picking is done for high quality tea and it highly depends on the skill of the picker, but this is a costly method. Mechanical picking of tea flushes and leaves are also practiced, but it results in large quantities of broken leaves and partial flushes. However, mechanical harvesting at right time can yield high quality teas. Plucking of coarse leaves is strictly avoided since it interferes with the quality of tea. Coming to the next step, which is withering, the plucked tea leaves are subjected to withering for initial removal of moisture content. 2 methods of withering are generally practiced: the natural method of withering and the artificial method of withering. Discussing about the natural method of withering, the freshly picked tea leaves are spread out in very thin layers on wire meshed racks that are arranged one above the other and further subjected to drying in natural air for a minimum period of 20 to 24 hours. In artificial withering, the plucked tea leaves are widely laid in 18 to 20 centimeter layers in tables with wire meshes that are placed inside a tunnel in which forced circulation of warm air mixed with fresh air takes place. This method of withering significantly causes a reduced withering time, resulting in approximately 60 to 20% residual moisture reduction, rendering the withered tea leaves suitable for tea processing. The next step is breaking up where the process of rolling of the withered tea leaves, which is a pre-preparation step, takes place. This is done with the use of a circular table with a center cone with lateral slat-like arrangement called battens. The top of the table is fitted with a circular jacket with a pressure cap. The table and jacket are made to rotate in opposite directions eccentrically, thereby causing the withered leaves placed in the jacket to twist and roll on the surface of the cone and battens, which is almost similar to the manual rolling. The CTC method, which is crushing, tearing, and curling, comprises of two metal rollers that are separated but placed with minimum distance between each other that revolves at unequal speeds. This movement cuts, tears, and twists the withered and broken up tea leaves. As a result, the juice from the tea leaves are pressed to the surface of the leaves, which initiates the fermentation process. During fermentation, the oxidation process, which had begun during rolling, is continued. Fermentation takes place in separate fermentation rooms, which need to be kept extremely clean to avoid bacterial infection of the tea. The tea leaves are placed in 3.5 to 7.5 centimeter layers on aluminum trays. The thickness of the layers depends on the room temperature. As soon as the tea has acquired a copper red color, the correct degree of fermentation has been reached, and the process must be halted by drying. The tannin content decreases during fermentation from 20% in the fresh tea leaf to 10 to 12% after fermentation. The formation of aroma compounds is caused due to the oxidation of amino acids, carotenes, and unsaturated lipids during the fermentation period. Next comes the drying process, which is carried on 4 plates system dryer. Hot air up to 90 degrees Celsius is blown against the leaves, which should have reached 80 degrees Celsius by the time drying has been completed. This is because the polyphenol oxidase enzyme should be properly inactivated. The moisture content should be reduced to 3.5%, whereby the aroma becomes established and the leaves take on their typical black coloration. Grading and storage of fermented tea. Winnowing is practiced to separate the stocky matter, and grading is done by sieving, wherefrom different grades of tea are obtained based on the particle size. During the storage of finished tea products, various chemical changes take place, leading to the loss of the remaining residual greenness and roughness in 10 to 15 days period. Tea should be stored in moisture and oxygen-proof area to retain the flavor and aroma developed in the fermented tea. Flavor retention is possible for more than 1 year under such storage conditions. Next comes green tea. A bud and 2 to 3 leaves of tea shrubs are harvested for green tea production. Green tea consumption sums to around 21% of total tea production due to larger amounts of catechins and vitamins. Green tea possesses a pleasant taste and aroma and has light olive green shade color. Since green tea is unfermented, the inactivation of browning enzymes is regarded as a crucial factor. The enzyme is inactivated either by steaming or by roasting the green leaves in a pan. The steps of manufacturing of green tea are similar to fermented tea except for the fermentation step. The steps include plucking, steaming or roasting, primary heating, rolling, secondary rolling, drying, refining, firing, sorting, and packing. There are 18 different types of green tea worldwide consumed. Next stands the yellow tea, which occupies an intermediate position between black and green tea, but is closer to the green tea. This is an unfermented tea that yields a brighter color than green tea on infusion. Yellow tea is highly refreshing beverage with a milder taste and a stronger aroma than green tea. It is characterized by a higher content of catechins, vitamins, and extractives than black tea, and therefore it's physiologically more effective. Yellow tea is produced from a bud and 2 or 3 young leaves and tender shoots of the tea plant. The tender parts of the shoots, the bud, and the first leaf should be withered to the same extent as the third leaf and the stalk. The steps in manufacturing yellow tea are withering, roasting, rolling, sorting, and firing. The next variety is the red tea, which is a fermented tea produced by a controlled combination of much slower enzymic and thermochemical processes than that in black tea manufacturing. The red tea has a pleasant, mild, and astringent taste and a strong, stable aroma. The steps involved are withering, rolling, roasting, firing, sorting, and final firing. Coming to the dark tea, which is an unfermented tea produced for trade only in the Chinese internal market. It is brownish yellow or brownish red in infusion, stale in aroma, and is subjected to microbial fermentation. Fresh leaves, 1 bud, and 4 to 6 leaves with some stalks are withered, rolled, piled, dried initially and finally, followed by steaming and then compressed to obtain the finished product. Piling is a significant process where the process temperature and humidity are kept high for long periods of time so that microbes such as Aspergillus glaucus, Saccharomyces, etc. are produced naturally. During piling, polyphenols are oxidized as a result of dampness, heat, and the action of microbes. Dark tea contains no chlorophyll, so the levels of catechins and free amino acid concentrations are lower than in the yellow tea. These chemical changes mellow the flavor of dark tea. Talking about the white tea, which is a fermented type of Chinese tea which is meant only for export, yields light orange yellow tea on infusion. Fresh leaves, 1 bud, and 1 to 2 leaves with profuse hairs or only buds from the first plucking of spring tea with moderate content of polyphenols are withered, fired to obtain raw tea, sorted and packed as made tea. During withering for 1 to 3 days, levels of amino acids increase and sugar and polyphenol levels decrease. Discussing about the non-conventional tea products, first comes the instant tea. The dry powder that is obtained by dehydration of tea infusion of black tea or green tea is known as instant tea, which is highly hygroscopic in nature. Instant teas are available in different types, namely hot soluble and cold soluble, depending on consumer preferences. Different raw materials are used for instant tea preparation like fermented green tea leaves, black tea, low-grade teas, fruit tea leaves, and tea waste. Instant tea preparation requires quality control of the raw material to produce best quality instant tea. Tea is extracted by using good quality water for infusion. Usually, co-current or countercurrent extraction is practiced, followed by a dewatering step. The leaves are mixed with hot water in different material to water ratios. In a multi-stage co-current system, the exhausted leaves are successively extracted in different stages and the extracts obtained are mixed together before the final concentration. In countercurrent operation, the material and the enriched extracts move in opposite directions so that there is a gradual buildup of solids concentration in the successive extractions. Generally, the solids buildup is at a 7 to 10% level in each operation. A portion of the first extract is preserved and added finally before spray drying to make up for the flavor losses. On cooling to room temperature, the tea brew forms haze due to a caffeine polyphenol protein complex formation, which is technically termed cream. The appearance, quantity, and the quality of the cold soluble tea beverages and iced teas are influenced by haze formation. Hence, chilling tea extract to remove the cream is known as decreaming by using centrifuges, filters, and membranes. Sometimes, solubilization of the tea cream by chemical and enzymatic methods are also adopted. Aroma stripping is carried out immediately after extraction and before concentration with either steam or inert gas. The volatiles are concentrated under low temperature and pressure conditions so that they can be added back to the final product. Concentration of the extract from 10% to 30% level of solids is done using a vacuum concentrator or a falling film or a rising film evaporator. This is a crucial step for aroma retention. Hence, low temperature and short retention times of the extract in the concentrators are employed. Permitted additive is used as a filler increases the solid concentration to 30%, which is desirable for the drying operation. The drying of the infusion is achieved by spray drying, freeze drying, or vacuum drying. Freeze drying and vacuum drying methods are not commonly followed because of the high energy costs involved. The generally employed method is the spray drying. Flavor losses are high because of the high temperatures. Bulk density of the product is increased by bubbling of carbon dioxide or ammonium carbonate followed by spray drying. The agglomeration technique is employed to increase the bulk density. Addition of anti-caking agents is practiced since the product is highly hygroscopic. Talking about the chemical composition, the percentage of chemical composition of hot water soluble instant tea varies as follows. The tannins being 40.5 to 49%, total catechins being 55.2 to 89.4%, caffeine 3.5 to 5.1%, total amino acids being 7 to 8%, total nitrogen being 2.9 to 4%, and total protein nitrogens 0.14 to 4%. Instant tea can be used to fortify other teas. Addition of instant tea to regular tea increases the content of extractives including polyphenols, caffeine and other constituents up to 60 to 70% from 35 to 40% and thereby enhances the nutritive and biological value of the product. An addition of 15% instant tea to a regular tea of any grade does not affect its taste or flavor, and it's very profitable because instant teas are usually produced from low-cost raw materials. Discussing about flavored teas. Flavored teas are produced by incorporating various natural and nature-identical flavors in various processed teas. Flavored black tea, green tea, oolong tea, instant tea, decaffeinated black tea, and decaffeinated instant tea are available in the worldwide market. Incorporation of natural flowers or flower petals or skin peels of citrus fruits is done after the firing step in factories. Spice teas with ginger, cardamom, clove, cinnamon or scented teas with lemon, orange, mint and rose are popular and consumed widely in all parts of the world. Essence of apricot, banana, apple, raisin, currant, date, prune and fig is also added to impart the fruity flavor to tea. Incorporation of natural fragrant flowers is prepared by spreading of alternate layers of tea leaves and flowers till the chest is completely filled. Then it is heated in the bamboo basket for about 2 hours, by which the flowers turn crisp. The flowers are then sifted out and the tea is packed. The tea thus prepared is later mixed with unscented teas in the ratio of 1:20. Liquid spice teas with ginger, cardamom, clove, cinnamon, coriander and cumin are prepared by adding them at the brewing stage and concentrating the tea extract. In the diffusion method, 2 standardized methods are practiced. The first method involves mixing a small quantity of the desired grade of tea directly with the flavor component and then remixing this blend with the bulk. In the second method, the tea sample has indirect contact with the flavor blend, which is sprayed on a wad of cotton or paper. Here, only vapors are in contact with the tea by means of thorough mixing. In spraying method, black tea is spread in uniform layers in trays, which are kept in specially constructed rooms. Flavor is sprayed on them by automatic spraying devices. Encapsulated flavors are also mixed with tea to minimize flavor losses and produce uniform distribution. Decaffeination of tea is desirable to regulate the doses of caffeine intake and to overcome the ill effects of excess caffeine intake. Decaffeinated tea is produced by removing 60 to 90% of the caffeine from black tea by solvent extraction. The decaffeinated tea contains 0.2% to 0.8% caffeine. Bound caffeine is removed by some chemical or enzymatic treatment. The following steps are involved in the process. Increase in the moisture content from 10 to 40%, treating with an organic solvent for 12 to 18 hours to extract 97% of caffeine. Steaming with live steam to remove all residual solvents and final drying to remove excess moisture. The quality parameters for black tea, decaffeinated black tea and flavored tea are physical, chemical, sensory and microbiological aspects which are very important. Physical characteristics are grades, particle size, bulk density, color and appearance that indicate visual quality. The chemical parameters include polyphenols, which are the tannins, total solubles and extraneous matter. ISI and PFA have specified the limits for ash content, water solubles and fiber content to safeguard the interest of the consumer. Microbiological parameters are important in liquid tea products such as carbonated beverage and canned or frozen tea concentrates. Talking about the physical characteristics, the processed black or green teas are separated from stalks, fiber and foreign matter. They are categorized into leaf grade, brokens, fannings and dust based on the appearance, size and liquor qualities. The chemical constituents such as polyphenols, tannins, caffeine, pectic substances, pigments like theaflavins, thearubigins, non-caffeine nitrogenous compounds, sugars, minerals and lipids contribute to the quality of tea. The processed black tea contains 10% of tannins compared to green tea leaves which contain only 18 to 20% of tannins. The graded teas at 3% moisture level are packed in tea chests, preferably with aluminum foil or plyofilm lining in humidity controlled rooms. Blending, which is the mixing of teas with different characteristics to create products that best satisfy the requirements of the consumer market on the basis of quality, flavor, strength, body size and style of leaf and the price of the selected teas. Tea tasting and sensory quality of the tea is determined by the combined effects of non-volatile solids extractable from tea leaf to about 0.3 to 0.45% solid concentration under normal brewing conditions. Infusion is made by pouring boiling water into a mug of 0.142 liter capacity in which a graded or blended tea sample of 2.83 grams is placed. After 5 to 6 minutes, the brew is evaluated by an expert for color, quality, strength, briskness, flavor and other characteristics. Talking about the storage and discussing about storage and packaging aspects, the manufactured black teas are subjected to different conditions of storage for a period of 3 to 6 months before they reach the consumer. Black tea can store well for 300 days, retaining its flavor at 32% relative humidity at 20 degrees Celsius. Suitable packaging materials, both for unit and bulk packaging, are essential to protect tea from moisture and oxygen. To conclude this session, let us recall the processing steps right from harvesting, withering, CTC processing of tea leaves, fermentation, drying and packaging. You know, apart from conventional tea products, currently there is continued research in new product development, value-added products, convenience products and development of compatible flavors to satisfy customer requirements. Thank you.